Ever wonder how cannabis businesses get the cash they need? Stick around to uncover the secret to funding your dream. I'm excited to introduce you to Mike Blumenthal, a visionary in the SaaS world. With over 8 years in business strategy, product, and marketing, he's worked with Fortune 100 companies and startups alike. Mike is the founder of SaaS Lead Flow, helping B2B SaaS companies grow. And now he's tackling a huge challenge in the cannabis industry with his new venture, the Cannabiz Credit Association. How did he figure out such a critical solution? Trust me, you won't want to miss what he has to share. Hi Mike, this is Vats from the Founder Show. I'm super excited to have you here. Can you share what your startup is all about and the big issue you're tackling in the cannabis market? The Cannabiz Credit Association is here to change the game for cannabis businesses by making credit history and payments super clear. Mike Blumenthal and his team give companies access to powerful databases to help them see if potential customers are trustworthy. With over 200 members and big brands already on board, they're helping businesses avoid debt and keep cash flow strong. Mike's biggest tips: build strong relationships and always add value. These are key to success in this fast-growing market. Welcome to The Founder Show, the ultimate podcast for startups and visionaries. Today, we're excited to have Mike Blumenthal, a true founder, joining us. At The Founder Show, we amplify your stories to a huge audience, helping you connect and grow. So let's get started. Hi, Mike. This is Vats from The Founder Show. Thanks for joining this podcast, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. How are you doing today?
Good.
Great to hear that, Mike. Let's dive right in. Can you tell me the name of your startup and the big problem you're aiming to solve?
Yeah, the startup is the Cannabiz Credit Association. And the problem we're solving is making payment history and credit transparent in the legal cannabis market in the United States.
Oh, that's a fascinating space, Mike. Transparency in payment history and credit is such a critical issue, especially in a market like legal cannabis. What inspired you to tackle this specific problem?
Yeah, so I joined the founder about 6 months ago after really seeing the potential and how big a need this is in the market. And to frame it in a story, Brett, who started the company, has been working in cannabis for almost 10 years, and he's been doing collections for 7. And all of the companies that they've served, the $150 million worth of debt that they've seen come through the collections agency, all of those customers said, how do I make sure this never happens again? And so collections being the reactive way to do it, this is a proactive way to ensure that your cash flow and your profits are still flowing every month and that you're getting paid the money you're owed.
That's such a compelling backstory, Mike. It's clear Brett's experience in collections gave him a deep understanding of the pain points in the industry. Shifting from reactive collections to proactive credit transparency is a game changer. How does your platform work to ensure businesses maintain that steady cash flow and avoid those pitfalls?
Yeah, so right now, when a member of the Cannabis Credit Association joins, they're given access to 2 databases which are searchable in one place. So it's really easy for you to assess new customers to see if they're creditworthy because you can see, have they ever been taken to collections? Did they pay? And then also, do they owe other members of the credit association? Because we're able to gather the real accounts receivable invoice level data. So it's an easy way for you to do simple credit checks without having your customer fill out information, and also it helps you negotiate your terms with your customers.
That's brilliant, Mike. Having access to such detailed real-time data must be a huge relief for businesses in the cannabis space. It sounds like you're not just solving a problem, but also empowering businesses to make smarter decisions. How has the response been from your early members? Are there any success stories that stand out?
Yes, absolutely. So our early members really, they started because they saw the vision and the need. And the success stories are endless. There's giant brands like Jeter, hiring companies like Vanks and United Green. And then there's also platforms like Leafly and Apex Trading who use this tool to assess if they should be doing business with a customer in the space. So we have testimonials all across our page and over 200 members who have used the tool and actively are part of the community today.
That's incredible, Mike. Having big names like Cheater, Vanks, and Leafly on board really validates the impact you're making. It's impressive to see over 200 members already benefiting from the platform. What's been the biggest challenge in scaling this community and getting businesses to adopt the tool?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge so far has just been getting the word out that this exists as a tool. So that's what really excited me about the opportunity to get in front of your readers, in front of all of your listeners, because this tool exists in every legal market. We have data in every legal market, but a lot of cannabis companies are still behind and not using tools. Usually when I ask, what's your credit process? They say, well, we just issue someone net terms. And we're trying to change that so that these business owners don't end up issuing loans to people who aren't creditworthy.
That makes so much sense, Mike. Educating the market and shifting old habits is definitely a tough hurdle, especially in an industry still catching up with modern tools. It's great that you're spreading awareness and helping businesses avoid unnecessary risks. How do you approach building trust with companies that might be hesitant to adopt this kind of solution?
Yeah, I mean, trust is critical here. Usually it's about understanding what their concerns are. Is it a concern of joining and being a part of the membership with your data being shared anonymously? Is it that you think that you know your customers well enough where you can blindly issue credit based on your payment history? And once you understand what the hesitations are, then we can simply just go into the facts and the proof. Every market is different. Every single one of them has different nuances and players. But at the end of the day, the companies that we have involved in the data we've accumulated is something that does not exist anywhere else. And so it's really a game changer for these companies to get access and assess their customers with real data from the market.
That's a solid approach, Mike, addressing concerns head on and backing it up with undeniable proof. It's clear that the unique data you've gathered is a huge differentiator. Speaking of markets, you mentioned every legal market is different. How do you tailor your approach to meet the specific needs or nuances of each market?
Yeah, well, it really comes down to what is the payment model in that market and the expectation. I talk to business owners in Oregon and Colorado where net terms are just the way of doing business. And, that's what you have to do is you have to issue someone a loan with your product, and then you have to go chase them to get the money back. While some of the newer markets like Ohio, like Maryland, those markets are still so new that there isn't a big debt problem, and also, there's not even a need for net terms on every single transaction. And so what it comes down to is if you're issuing net terms, you should be doing credit checks no matter what industry you're in, and this is no different, especially because of how many tax obligations and other things put pressure on your profit. So yes, that's how I would summarize it. Each market is different, but all of the business owners are pretty much subject to 280E. So.
Got it, Mike. It's fascinating how the maturity of each market shapes the payment dynamics. The newer markets seem to have a chance to avoid the pitfalls older ones like Oregon and Colorado face. Your point about credit checks being essential, especially with the added tax pressures like 280E, is spot on. How do you see these market dynamics evolving over the next few years, and what role do you envision the Cannabis Credit Association playing in that evolution?
Yeah, so I mean, the cool thing about being in cannabis is every year the market gets bigger in the United States. More states come online, there's more people who are using the product, and so there's a huge growth potential here. And the way that we see it is there's been a need for transparency of who you're doing business with since the beginning, And we hope to be ingrained with these organizations in the governments who are regulating it, and really become a go-to tool for people to do credit checks across the country.
That's an exciting vision, Mike. With the market expanding and more states coming online, the potential for the Cannabiz Credit Association to become a cornerstone of trust and transparency is huge. Partnering with regulators could really solidify your role in shaping the industry. What's next on the horizon for your team? Any upcoming milestones or features you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. So to date, it's been primarily a database that you can search. And in the coming months, we have a few very exciting updates. One, we will have credit risk recommendations. So based on the payment history that we have, making a recommendation on what type of terms to issue. The second one is sort of automating that reporting. So if your customers who are in your customer list are taken to collections or become a poor rated, basically supplier, buyer, you're notified of it. And then the last part is we have some key integrations with industry players. There's a lot of business intelligence tools that companies use, and we've just signed an agreement with Cannabiz Media where basically our tool and our reports will be embedded in their platform. And so that way more people can get access to these reports from one screen. So we're really excited about what's ahead.
Wow, Mike, those updates sound like game changers. Credit risk recommendations and automated reporting will make it so much easier for businesses to stay ahead of potential issues. And the integration with Cannabiz Media is a brilliant move. It'll definitely expand your reach and make the tool even more accessible. With all these advancements, how do you see these features impacting the day-to-day operations of your members?
Yeah, I mean, really the goal is, one, how can we make sure that they reduce their accounts receivable? That's really the number one impact. And two, making sure that our members get access to the most up-to-date and the best data they can so they can make decisions. So as we grow, we're really focused on those two things and making sure that everyone's getting use of the tool and building a really equitable industry where people do business with good people.
That's such a meaningful mission, Mike. Reducing accounts receivable while fostering an equitable industry built on trust. It's clear you're not just solving a financial problem, but also shaping a healthier business ecosystem. Before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to other founders navigating a niche but rapidly growing industry like cannabis?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the relationships you build and the value you add. I've been building tech companies for 8 years, and I've seen, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it really comes down to, can you build meaningful relationships with the right people and add value to their business over time? If you can do that, you can build a really great company that is going to be worth something. If you can't build relationships and you see it as transactional, you're going to struggle, and it's going to be really difficult. So, and that's from a bootstrap perspective too. We've never raised money, and I really believe in building things sustainably and profitably. So, yeah, thanks for the interview. It's been great.
That's fantastic advice, Mike. Relationships and value truly are the foundation of any successful business, especially in a niche industry. I love your focus on sustainability and profitability. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and insights with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Wishing you and the Cannabiz Credit Association continued success.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, Mike. Take care and all the best. Thanks for tuning in to the Founder Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. We want to hear from all you amazing startup founders out there. If you want to be featured on our podcast, visit founder.show and sign up. Keep chasing your dreams, and we'll catch you next time.